Imagine you going in for surgery and they have to put you under, give you the anesthesia, right? And the anesthesia wears off in the middle of the procedure and you're awake for it all.
During the surgery?
During the surgery.
That sounds traumatizing.
I bet we get calls on this. 1-855-BERT show. Davi, take it away.
Oh my gosh, these are endless. So I found this BuzzFeed article about it's just women are sharing medical procedures they've had without anesthetics or pain meds. And why is this so normal? And I'm reading through these and it's going to make, Kristen, us girls are going to be like, I don't know if you guys will get it, but.
So these are women that woke up or just decided against it? Against like anesthesia or woke up while?
They just weren't given it.
Just weren't given it.
Women are often just not given it.
Not given the option, and they just go ahead and do the procedure without any anesthetic or anesthesia.
Because there are still medical journals that are like, there are no pain receptors in the cervix. So we can snippy snip on that all day, and you girls feel nothing. And that's a joke.
Get out.
And they need to stop saying that. So you can actually feel it. So like one girl from, it's Canada, she said, I was bleeding while I was pregnant. It was my first, so I went to the OBGYN at the hospital. She looked and said, oh, there's a polyp in your cervix. So she told me to hold the nurse's hand, pick a spot on the ceiling, and she would just cut him out real quick.
Oh, wow.
With no anesthesia? No anesthetic?
Yep, just went right for it. And when she flinched, they were like, you can't feel that. So that's what's fun about it is you flinch and they're like, no, you're making that up. You're like
phantom pain.
Yeah,
it's in
right.
Your head.
So you not faking the high. 5R says, I had a cervical biopsy when I was 18. So did I. And the doctor was like, you're just going to feel a pinch. Said the same thing to me. And then I felt a chunk of my cervix cut out. I screamed. And he said, shh. And I cried quietly.
He shushed her?
He shushed her.
During her pain?
He looked up at me and said, why are you crying? There's no nerve endings in the cervix. I know you're not actually feeling any pain. That was literally decades ago. And she's like, super cool to find out that women still deal with a-hole doctors like this, and that's the norm. Cool, real cool. Next one is Mama Bear, 45. When I had my first baby, I was very tiny, and the kiddo was a big bouncing boy. I got snapped at by the first nurse for making a sound through the process, and that was long before maternity pain relief was really a thing. I had gas. After you get surgery, the gas collects in your chest and your shoulders, and it's so painful. Weird. And there's not much. They can give you pain relief for it, but you just have to stay in motion to get it out, because at least that's what I was told. So fast forward to her then husband, who had a vasectomy done 8 weeks before their fourth baby. And so she had, 15 hours of labor, excruciating pain, and no pain relievers after the fact. And then she said that her nipples were bleeding and cracked and raw. And they were like, oh, that's how it goes. They'll toughen up in a week. But then when her husband had to get his procedure for the vasectomy, he was given Valium for the night before. He was given Valium for before the procedure. And he was even given a prescription of Valium for weeks after the procedure. So that's just how it goes for men versus women as far as medical doctors go.
All right,
I remember my HSG procedure, which is they shoot a fluid through your fallopian tubes and all that stuff just to make sure there's no blockage. And I had to do this at the fertility clinic leading up to the whole IVF process. And they're like, oh yeah, it'll just be, some mild cramping or whatever. They did that procedure. I literally thought I was going to leap off of the table in pain. And I was so livid that they didn't properly prepare me for that amount of pain. And they're like, yeah, just take some Tylenol.
Oh, wow.
Ibuprofen. Maybe some ibuprofen will be good.
And I'm like, WTF? That is so freaking uncool.
I feel like if they just said, this is going to hurt.
Yes.
It's going to suck.
I want to know.
Yeah. And
I want to know.
Then I wouldn't be so angry afterwards when they're like, why are you acting crazy?
Yeah.
You did not warn me that I was going to feel like I got punched in the gut.
Well, in their head, there's no nerve endings there, so why would you?
That's a joke. I'm going to show you nerve endings.
Soraya, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Hey, good morning. So I had my wisdom teeth on my right-hand side pulled out over the summer, and I actually woke up in the middle of it, and I was trying to rip off the IVs because I didn't know where I was at.
I did that too.
Remember that the Really?
Yes, I woke up in the middle of my wisdom teeth surgery, and the doctor was on top of me, which freaks you out.
Yeah.
Because if you wake up and there's a man on top of you, you start fighting. So I started fighting, and the nurse, I just saw her go, whoop, and she reached over and she jacked up some volume on something, and then I was out again.
Really? Like that in a second?
Yeah, and then they were like, it took me almost 2 hours to wake up. So I was like, okay, so you guys maybe shouldn't have jacked it up so hard when I woke up, because then I kept falling back asleep and they were worried.
Okay, the calls that are coming in is it generally happens 2 major times during getting your wisdom teeth out and C-sections. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good. C-section?
Okay, yeah. So my last child, it was a C-section, and halfway through, the anesthesia just kind of like was gone. Like I could feel everything. I could feel them like tugging and cutting, and I'm like telling them, I'm like, I need some more anesthesia. Like, go get the guy. The guy was nowhere to be found. By the time he shows up, they had already like taken the baby out.
Damn.
Isn't there supposed to be an anesthesiologist by your head the entire time? Like they're not supposed to leave the room during surgery?
Yeah, because
Busy. Other things to do. Coffee.
liability.
Gas.
This is my worst nightmare. I just found out I might have to have a C-section, and I'm very resistant to anesthesia. Like, they had to give me 4 times the amount of topical numbing because I could feel the epidural needle going in. The epidural wore off. They had to give it to me again. And then they couldn't, like, when you give birth, they have to catheter you right after. I could feel everything. And I just got up and walked to the bathroom, and they're like, how are you doing this? You had an epidural. So hearing that it happens during C-sections is my worst nightmare because I know it's going to happen to me. That's terrifying.
God made me super, super short, but he evened things out because I have no reaction to anesthesia at all. And I think that's a fair trade.
That's not fair.
It's a really fair trade.
Everybody has those cutesy videos coming out of the dope, you know, like and saying, I think I'm Beyonce and I hang out with Ellen. I wake up vomiting.
Yeah, I know most people do.
And it's so frustrating. I want to be cute.
All right, Alex, this is the one right here. It's going to make Mo and I at least gasp. Go for it.
Oh, boy.
Good morning, guys.
Hi.
I actually, I was getting a circumcision as an adult. I was in my 30s, and I was supposed to be put under a twilight, which was not fully under. I guess I'm a little sensitive to any sort of anesthesia, and they couldn't balance it right, and they had to put me fully under. So whatever happened, for some reason, I was coming out of it in the middle of the procedure, and I am a little bit blessed, and I actually literally saw the nurses there taking a photo, like a selfie, with my junk.
No.
That's so
smiling, and,
illegal.
Are you kidding me?
It was hilarious. I just found it hilarious. I thought I was dreaming.
Funny yet illegal.
That's
Illegal
not
as hell.
highly illegal. You're not allowed phones in operating areas or patient rooms.
Nurses and doctors are laughing at us right now because it happens so often. I assure you.
Wow.
I don't think so. I think people care about their job a lot.
Oh, I know
For
it.
that to
I
not
know for
happen.
100%.
You want to give a shout out to the hospital you were at?
Alex, you fascinating creature. Why did you have it done at 30 years old?
Well, my parents didn't do it, and it was complications my whole life. And then when I just had enough of it, and I wanted to get it done, and it's been great ever since.
I was going to say, minus the selfie. Are you glad you did it?
Wow.
Yeah, they got you on the wall of fame. Yeah.
You had paparazzi in your surgery.
Dude, they are so lucky you didn't get up and sue them. And I
Thanks.
mean, that's big time right there.
Yeah, I think if it was the other way around and I wasn't blessed, I probably would have been blessed.
They've been laughing for a different reason.
He's like, this is God's gift. I mean, got to share the blessings.
The Bert Show.